Hey, what's up everybody? Pro Solo Flipper here, David. I am going to do a video today. I've mentioned a few times lately that I'm going to be doing a spreadsheet video on the spreadsheet that I use for my reselling business. It is an Excel spreadsheet. It does also work on Google Sheets, I've been told, as well as Apple Numbers, I think it's called. So anyway, I'm going to show you this spreadsheet in depth. I thought I had the screen sharing thing figured out. I had downloaded some software and I figured out, I tested it and it seemed to be working, but when I shot the video for this, the video wasn't keeping up with the audio. So unfortunately I don't have time to figure all that out right now. I really wanted to get this video up as I promised, and I'm in the middle of a move, so I don't have time to kind of figure out all these software issues, but I'll try to figure it out for the next video I do that involves any screen sharing. So I apologize for the quality of the video if it doesn't look too good, but I think that it's okay. I just kind of shot my screen with my camera. So if that makes sense. Anyway, I think a few of you might already have the spreadsheet that have purchased from me. I do have it for sale. I have had it for sale on Instagram for $9. I'm sure you could create a spreadsheet yourself if you wanted to, but you know, this will probably save you at least a few hours, if not more, of creating one if you wanted to, and you can modify it as you needed if you're interested. There will be a link in the description. But anyway, here's the video. Okay, here we go. So this page, this spreadsheet has 11 tabs. You can see down here down at the bottom. This first tab is eBay. This is mainly what I do. So for this tab, and each tab over here will have a kind of description of what you need to do, or what this tab is about. So here I just enter the date, the description, what it's sold for. As I'm shipping it, I will enter in the shipping price. The rest of this, the fees and the PayPal fees, are automatically calculated with the formula. And then if you have a refund, you can enter the amount that you refunded, and then your eBay fee credit that you'll get back. You won't get your PayPal fee back. And then your profit will be calculated for you there. So that's eBay. For Amazon, it's kind of similar, but except for the fees, I don't have a formula because they're kind of all over the place, and I don't sell that much on Amazon. So date, description, price it sold for, whatever the shipping free credit that you got, your actual shipping cost that you paid, and then the fees. And same thing if you have a refund there, totals it up at the bottom. For local, it's even more simple, right? You just have your date, your description, and then what it's sold for, and then a total at the bottom for the year. So then each day I will go in and manually over here on this tab, your daily tracker, the first tab, I will put in the number of items sold for each platform, the dollar amount sold total for each platform, and then it will total them up here for the week, or the day I should say, the number sold and the total dollars sold, as well as for the week over here, that'll be the total of your dollars sold and your total numbers sold. And then here in the grays, I have previous year's data that I've copied and pasted in there, that you can do once you have more than 1 year's worth of data. And then at the bottom here, you'll have your monthly totals. I mostly just do eBay, like 95%. So that's really what I want to track for me. And for this and for anything else, I guess in this spreadsheet, you can kind of modify it for what works for you, for what platforms you use the most. You can change titles, add, or eliminate things that you don't need or whatever. But for me, I'm mostly tracking my eBay, so I will track. So this will pull over from the monthly totals here, your number of sold and your dollars sold, and calculate your average selling price. And then I also like to put in my starting list at the beginning of the month, like so on January 1st, whatever my listings are at, I will put the starting list for number and for total dollar value. You can get that information from Seller Hub on your listing page. And then I can track that throughout the months and see, okay, this is why maybe I had a good month here, a bad month here, based on where I was at with my listings. And then also, like, I can compare it to the previous year. So that's that for the income. And then I also have this tab in here that tracks your monthly totals. This, you don't have to do anything on this. This is just a view. It pulls from the other tabs. It's a running total, but you can see where you do, how much you're doing on each platform monthly. And like I said, I've been doing this since the start of 2016, so I have 4 full years of data now, but I can compare it to previous years and see how, and really track. I really like this tab for tracking my growth over a longer period of time. It's really, if you go onto Instagram, you can see this, for my personal one of this for the past 4 years filled out and see this is my actual number for that January. So you can see for January, I went from 190 in 2016. My January in 2017 was 1639. For 2018 was 2865. And then I'm not sure what my 2019 was. It was probably somewhere around, I don't know, 8,000 or 9,000 maybe. But you can see that on Instagram if you want to see my actual numbers. I've posted that before. Actually posted these numbers each month. So, and then next tab over is year-to-date totals, but I'm going to come back to this after we talk about our expenses. So here we have the inventory tab. This is basically, I don't track every individual item I purchase. I just track my individual purchases. I've talked to my CPA and he is fine with this method. So basically I will track, I will estimate my beginning inventory at the year, and that's for what it cost me, not for what I'm selling it for. I'll estimate my current inventory on hand, what its value is, and then I will add in my entire purchases through the year, which will be total down here. And then I will subtract an ending value of my inventory that I estimate at the end of the year. And so my beginning inventory plus my purchases of the year minus my ending inventory, that will give me my cost of goods sold that I will use for tax purposes for the year. Like I said, that's what I use. That's what I give my CPA. He's good with that. So you definitely want to check with your CPA or whoever's doing your taxes and make sure that's okay with them, but it should be fine. So anyway, I just track mine on individual, like on the actual purchase. So like if I go to a thrift store and I spend, in this case, I spent $17.56, I will just put that amount in there. I will write a check on that receipt and I'll stick that receipt in a box, and it'll be a box for 1 year that I'll save in case I ever get audited. So just tracking the total purchase at each store, and I'll put each one in there for the day. If I go to garage sales, I usually have a list of addresses that I've written down that I'm going to, and if I buy something at that address, I'll put that money down. I'll put that amount down that I spent, and then I will total it up for the day, and I will just put the total for the day on that sheet and enter it in here, and I'll put a check on that sheet, and I'll put that sheet in the box with my receipts. And that's what I do. So you can do the same thing if you buy something off wherever you buy it. Doesn't matter if you buy something on eBay, you can put it on here. If you buy something on Amazon, you can put it on here. Facebook Marketplace, if you buy something at an auction. Each time you make a purchase, just put that total purchase there, check it off, put it in your box, or however you want to do it. And then this will be your total spent for the year. Next tab is supplies. This is basically for anything that you're going to use up during the year. Mostly I use this for shipping supplies. So all the poly bags, bubble mailers, boxes, whatever I buy, packing tape, shipping labels, all that kind of stuff that's going to get used up throughout the year. I will just put the date, what it was, and how much I paid for it. And mostly I buy all my stuff off eBay, so that's how I do it in bulk. And then the next tab is for expenses. This is more for like one-time expenses. So this will be for your equipment, such as if you buy a desk or a computer, a printer, a camera, or maybe a lighting kit. Other one-time expenses that you may have is you may rent a truck for an auction haul or something like that. You can put that truck rental on there. If you go out of town for a business trip, like I went to the eBay Open conference this past year, and you can put the cost of the hotel for that and your food, whatever you bought for food during that out-of-town trip for overnight. You can do that. Some people go for multiple day trips out of town or even out of state to source, especially if they do retail arbitrage or something like that. And then you can include your meals or hotel stays for that as well. So that is inventory, supplies, expenses, and then next tab over is eBay fees. For me, I just pay my eBay invoice once a month, and I will do that 12 times throughout the year, and that total of those 12 payments will be my exact fees that I paid for the year, and that I will use for deductions on my taxes. And then for me, I had to put this somewhere. I have a storage unit, so I just put it here because I had room on this tab. But I've been paying $110 a month for a storage that is strictly for business. I just have a bunch of unlisted inventory in there. I'm about to get rid of that storage unit. I think next month, January will be my last month, and then it'll be cleared out, and I won't have this expense anymore. And then last tab on here is for mileage. So you might have, there's different ways you can track your mileage. Some people use apps, some people just write it down, but this is here as an option to you if you want it. Just put in for each day, there's 365 days in this tab, you just put in if you take a trip for business, then whether it be to the post office or a thrift store or to an auction or wherever, you just put your starting mileage, your ending mileage. Then your total mileage for that trip will be calculated. You just put a comment in here about what it was, and then it'll total for the end of the year, and then you can use that as a deduction. I believe you get maybe 59 cents a mile or somewhere in that neighborhood for your mileage deduction. And so that's pretty much all the individual tabs except for this last one I'll go back to, which is the year-to-date totals. So what this is a chart that's not exactly your income. It's what it does show is your yearly cash flow. So your actual cash flow. So you'll make an adjustment to your inventory, as I mentioned before, about how you figure your inventory, your cost of goods sold, and then that will be your actual income. But basically your income totals from each platform here is a total for the year. Same thing with returns, selling fees, shipping, and then all your other expenses, your inventory expenses, storage, and supplies. And that gives your year-to-date cash flow. This will be a running total throughout the year. So this is kind of interesting to see how much you've actually earned, like everything going out and everything coming in, what the difference is and how much, hopefully that's a positive number for you. And so you can monitor that throughout the year. And then down here in this yellow box, I'm not going to go over this. I'll let you read it. But this is basically where I get each of my numbers that I use when I get do my taxes done. And like I have here in this blue box, definitely I highly recommend you speak to your own CPA or accountant to make sure that you're doing everything as needed for tax purposes. And that is about it. So that is my spreadsheet. Okay, so hopefully that video showed you kind of a little in-depth look at what I use and how I use it. I kind of went through it quickly because I didn't want this to be a long, 20-30 minute video of you staring at my screen, my spreadsheet screen. But you can pause it if you need to look at, and kind of look at each screen a little bit longer or whatever. But like I said, this spreadsheet has been great for me. It helps me track all my numbers. It's great for analysis. I can see my growth, and that really motivates me to keep going, to see how far I've come. Like I said, in the video, I have 4 years of data now, completely filled out in this spreadsheet. So I can compare each month, each week. I can go back and see whatever I want to see from the past 4 years. So that's really nice. It makes taxes at the end of the year simple because you don't have to do any calculations. You just pull your numbers from here and there, and then you have everything you need or everything that your CPA needs. Personally, I just have my CPA handle it just to make sure everything's right. In the past, I have done it myself, and then I've had the IRS come back and say this isn't right or this isn't right, and I was able to correct all those things, but it just ended up being more of a pain. I would rather just pay somebody who really knows what they're doing to do it and get it done right, and make sure that I'm not missing anything. So, but these numbers make it really handy. So I go in there, and I'm sure my CPA loves me because it's hardly any work. I just give him all the numbers that he needs, and he just plugs it in where he plugs it in, and then we're good to go. So. So anyway, follow me on Instagram if you want to. I'm Pro Solo Flipper there too. I post there quite a bit. I am starting to make more and more YouTube videos. It's something I want to do going forward. There will be, like I said, there will be a link in the description if you want to purchase this spreadsheet for $9. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below, and I'll get back to you. Hopefully, this gives you a good idea of something you can create yourself, or maybe you want to buy it, or maybe you just want to see what I use. There's plenty of different ways to track everything. This is just how I do it, and it's worked well for me for the past 4 years or so, and I don't plan on doing anything different going forward. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully it was useful. If you like, share, comment, whatever you want to do, so please subscribe. That helps me out, and I can keep making these videos. Hope everybody's sales are going great this fourth quarter, and hope everyone enjoys their holidays coming up. We're in the process of moving into a new house, and we're supposed to be moved in by this Friday, and hopefully we'll be a little bit settled so we can really just kind of relax and enjoy the holidays. But thanks for watching, guys.